traders, welcome to Options Center. This is Tuesday after the bell, 2/9/21. We are going to check out what happened here today. According to the options expected move, we had a pause day. And then we're going to go down to a couple lower time frames and see the trades that we put on early this morning and see how we did on those. We had a couple of day trades that were good. But before we get into that information, please hit that subscribe button and tap the like button as well if you like this information, because it helps us spread the word and spread the wealth. We want to get that information out there, especially with all the new traders in this raging market. We are looking for a turnaround right now, and let's jump into it. So here's the SPX with the options expected move mapped out here. We have a dip last week. We're breaking out of the ranges, so we're having an inefficient market. This week, we had a smaller expected move than last week and the week before. With things getting so wild, I understand volatility got crushed, but I think we're going to move pretty hard. We usually don't have two consecutive breaks out of the expected move and then just everything's fine and dandy. So what are we looking at here? We have about 39.40. Let's see, it should light up there. 39.45 on the upper end. I don't think we have enough fuel. I think we have resistance at that point. I'm not sure we have enough momentum to get to that point. Everything's bearish on the divergence end. On the optical end, everything's bullish. So what does that mean? We have a pause. We have a pause here. We could go either way. We can break down from here. We can pop up to break down. We can keep going. The market does what it wants. We're just looking for tea leaves to see what's happening next. So we're over all the MAs. MACD is still headed to the upside. We made that bullish cross, but we have this huge bearish divergence. We are not able to make a higher high at this time. We would have to move quite a bit, and that would definitely break that would burn through that bearish divergence. But enough time on this board. Let's put some trend lines on here. Trend is our friend. We're working on wave 5 right now, waiting to confirm if this is another wave 4, go lower than this 4, or if we're going to come down correct, that would mean this is a wave 1, wave 2, and then move on from there to much higher prices. Moving on. What are we going to do? The 65-minute. Let's go down to 65-minute. This is still the SPX. If this is wave 1, look at this. We're making a bearish cross here as well. So, we may make a little bit of divergence before we move down on the SPX, but on the ES, we'll go over here. We already have those divergences. We have those divergences big time. So moving on up the board, just rip into the upside. Now we're just slowing the momentum. You see the curve. I can no longer put those trend lines here because the momentum is waning out and we're just getting a curvy action here. So assuming that we're going to get, and that's a big assumption, the top of the wedge here, we have a big megaphone or a, what is it? Not a triangle, but a opening. I can't even remember the word to that, but not important. We have our resistance up top here. We held here during the day. I was actually trying to add some more puts after we broke out of this 39.11. In this morning's video, we had this range in mind, 3888 and 3911. We had this range here that we were looking to make a move. If we broke over it, we were going to add on some puts. If we broke under it, we were going to add on some puts. So we just wanted to see where we were going before we added on anything, see what was happening. But we held this range here for the inside day. All right, so look at this bearish divergence. We're all the way down to the 0 line. Will we cross that 0 line or will we move back to the upside? That's the big question here. So we'll have to see what happens in overnight action. I do suppose if we do go down from this point, I put the retracements on here, and it just matches perfect with the expected move to the T. 38.14 both sides. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but that's where our first target would be for us. We do have to break down from this 38.88 and get back. If you look at these long dash lines, that's the week. That's a weekly support in this case, was resistance. This was a weekly, will be support. So that is our last week's range. From this dash to this dash is 1 week, last week. And if we get back into that range, that brings that balance back into play. So when we move, if we move back down in here, that's when we don't know where it's going to stop. We could have a bearish engulfing. We could fill out this megaphone a little bit more. Or if we're a lot more bullish than that, we just come down to one of these retracements, the 38.2, maybe the expected move. We have been inefficient, you guys. The last 2 weeks were inefficient. So yes, this might be our first target, but after a bounce or so, or maybe straight through after maybe a bounce, we expect this to break again. More inefficiency. The expected move is 63 points. It went from 127 to 63 just like that. I'm not so sure. So we will take off some of our short-term puts at this spot here. But we will, if it bounces, we will re-engage and add on to more puts for some more downside. We do have a longer-term trend line here as well. But the 61.8 is the golden ratio where it does land on a previous monthly. If you look at those, it is a faded outline, but those smaller dots are my monthly supports, and it coincides perfectly with that one. So we will be looking for at least a bounce there if this is a wave 1, 2, and higher. If not, if it breaks through there, we won't be playing too many puts at that point. That's, that's a maybe like a straddle or something like that, but we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so let me go over these. We're already at 7 minutes on this video, so let me just dash through these real quick. gddy, we had GoDaddy, go. All right, on the daily, look at that long-term range breaking out. It's going to hit all-time highs, folks. I'm telling you that right now. ktos. Kratos hitting all-time highs as well. Just like we said this morning. Nice move. Snow made a move, but it looks like that's wave 1. We did have a 5 count in there, so we're looking for wave 2. We'll put on a, we'll check that out for when it comes time. Fubo. We played a day trade on this one, and after looking at that, it engulfed the other bullish engulfing, I guess, but I don't know what to call that with still indecision. We're underneath the 8 MA. We're in it and out of it with some nice gains on there. The percentages are big. These candles don't give it much credit. Space. That didn't make much of a move. We didn't play this one. It looks like an ascending trend. We'll get over this range here, looking for all-time highs in space. And last but not least, it's not on my list, but we did do a day trade on here. I saw how strong the big tech was coming out of this, and it broke to the upside. We got in it, and we took the meat of the trade, and luckily we got out quickly because that doesn't look good. Everything's moving sideways, so I didn't see a breakout today, but we did nice in Facebook. So thanks for joining me today here on Options Tender. Good luck tomorrow. Have a good night. We'll see you in the morning.